The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, right here live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network and our fine family of broadcast affiliates across Canada, Alaska, the United States, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, the Pacific Rim, 20 Asian countries, and now in Europe. Our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255, toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, you can chat with me here in our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, at talkstarradio@hotmail.com, and our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and www.xzonetv.com, where you can watch and listen to us live through the video service of consolidated streaming. On tonight's show, Ruta Fox is going to be joining me after the first break. We're going to be talking about what's so hot about the ring. And then I'm going to be doing an open mic in the second hour. The question is, what happens to all these great UFO stories that hit the news and fizzle out? What happens? Why are they talked about in the first place if they're nothing but a bunch of bunk? The same thing goes for Bigfoot. The same thing goes for ghost stories and hauntings. Why do people invent these stories? That's in the second hour. Third hour, Ron Francel will be joining me. We're going to be talking about crime's lasting legacy of evil, the crime that changed Casper, Wyoming. And my final guest is going to be part 2 of an interview with psychic, medium, and author Linda Drake. That's tonight here on the X Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone TV, and on shortwave. Today is March the 20th, and Michael Rappaport turns 38 today. Basketball coach Pat Riley turns 63, and it is National Proposal Day. On this date, in 1660, Sir Walter Raleigh was released from the Tower of London. In 1815, Napoleon entered Paris. On this date, in 1885, the shoelacing machine was invented. In 1899, a woman was executed in an electric chair for the very first time. And it was on this date, in 1942, that General Douglas MacArthur vowed, "I shall return." A couple of things that you might want to know about. Katie Holmes is designing her own line of clothes for Armani, which will hit the stores in 2009. Fresh from her divorce from Paul McCartney, Heather Mills will be a judge at the Miss USA pageant in Las Vegas on April the 11th. Heather, by the way, made $34,000 a day for every day she was married to Paul McCartney. Just for the record, Charlie Sheen said he never hired the call girl made famous by Elliot Spitzer. A.J. McLean of Backstreet Boys fame is pursuing a solo career now. And David Beckham's new tattoo runs from his left nipple to his groin and says, "Death and life have determined appointments. Riches and honor depend on heaven." Also, start eating your veggies, gang. Food rich in folate, also called vitamin B9, can help you from developing dementia and Alzheimer's in old age. And this is according to the British Medical Association. The Sci-Fi Channel plans to produce a Battlestar Galactica prequel called Caprica. And finally, Halle Berry's newborn daughter is named Nala Ariel Aubrey. And, of course, as we were talking about last night, Arthur C. Clarke, a science fiction writer who wrote 2001 Space Odyssey, died yesterday at the age of 90. When I come back from this 2-minute commercial break, I will be joined by Ruta Fox. We're going to be talking to her about the A-ring. And if you'd like to give us a call and join the conversation, tell us what's on your mind, voice your opinion. After all, this is your show, X Zone Nation. Give me a call at 1-877-528-8255. That's toll free at 1-877-528-8255. The X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, continues on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break, live from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, exclusively on Talkstar Radio, X Zone TV, and on shortwave. Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits, and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
And welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. Ruta Fox is our special guest, and do you know what? They say it happens in a split second. That moment when genius strikes a new idea, and it's born. Just ask Ruta Fox. She was unemployed when her moment happened. Fox started selling diamond pinky rings to her friends who, like her, happened to be single. Now, she knew she was onto something special when she called it the A-ring and decided it would symbolize being available and happy. It's the first and only diamond ring designed for single women with no business background, no financing, no experience, and no help. Ruta set up shop in her apartment and began to build her empire. Fate soon intervened when Oprah featured the A-ring in the Oprah Magazine, and sales soared. Ruta had unknowingly tapped into a potential market of 55 million single women, including Hollywood's top celebrity. And joining me now is Ruta Fox. Hey, Ruta, how are you?
Hey, hi, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm doing not too bad. So what's it like to be rich and famous?
Well, I owe it all to Oprah, as many people do. But it's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride, and actually, a large part of it was due to my psychic. So that's something that you ought to be interested in hearing about.
All right. Well, why don't you take us to the beginning, and what was the inspiration for the ring?
Yeah, well, there I was.
Or is it ring?
The ring, A-H. There I was, unemployed, on my couch. And actually, my doctor had told me, I used to be a freelance writer, and I wrote, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and my doctor said that my back was gonna go, it just wasn't good for my back. So he told me, you better think of a new way to make a living. So there I was, unemployed on my couch, and I thought, boy, I've got to come up with something. And I just sat there and sat there and sat there. And one day a friend came over, and she said, wow, I was watching Oprah, and she has got the most gorgeous diamonds. And, I don't have Oprah's money, but, I'd love to get a little diamond ring. So she said, you know a lot about diamonds. What can you find for, me or you or whatever? So I went out and I got some cute little rings. I started wearing them around on my pinky. And the next thing I knew, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls all wanted the ring. So, my background was in advertising, and I thought, I'm going to give this ring a name. And I sat down and I thought, what is, the common denominator behind all my friends? And I thought, you know what, we're all fun and young and single and available and happy. And I said, oh my gosh, that's it. The ring, A-H, available and happy. It's the diamond ring you buy for yourself when you're single, and you wear it on your pinky. And I knew it was a huge idea because I figured, hey, married women have a band, engaged women get an engagement ring, but there was nothing out there for single women. And the minute I thought of it, I said, this is going to be big. So anyway, I had a friend, I have a friend who's a psychic in L.A., and her name's Beatrice Moreau, and I called her up, and, I have known her for years, and I said, I have this great little ring, and, told her the idea, available and happy, and I said, what I'm doing is going to my friends' offices, and I'm just kind of selling a few rings here and there for cash because, of course, I'm sitting on my couch trying to think of a way to make a living with the other part of my brain. And she said to me, hey, I've got a friend over at Oprah's Magazine. Maybe, she wants to buy a ring from you. I said, great. So I called her up, and the night before I went over to the magazine, of course, I did a beautiful press kit and a presentation, and I went over to the magazine the next day, and sure enough, I sold a ton of rings right there in the office, left everything there, and the next day, still sitting on the couch trying to think of a new way to make a living, and I got a call that said, we loved your presentation, and we FedExed it to Oprah, and she absolutely loves it and wants it for the O list. So, of course, they thought I was a big business, and they asked for my 800 number. They asked for my website address, and I had nothing. And that was it. I had 6 weeks to get an entire business together, and that was it. It took off like crazy.
Isn't that wonderful? It's a great success story.
Yeah, and it's been a hit. It's an absolute hit because basically what the ring is about, it's really a symbol for single women to feel good about being single. They can have diamonds. They don't have to wait for a man to buy them a diamond ring. They can get a great diamond pinky ring, and every time they look at it, they can just be reminded, yeah, I've got a diamond ring too. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm confident, and, it's empowering. And it's just been a wonderful kind of symbol for women to kind of resonate with. And did you know that 51% of women in the U.S. are single?
No, I didn't.
Far beyond married women now. They're edging over the married woman.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that women are spending a longer time going to school and devoting time to their career. I think they're getting married at a later age. That's been the statistics, kind of with the Census Bureau, and, prolonging that time period, whereas you used to get married very, very young. So I think that, just a large larger portion of women are single over a longer amount of time. And there's actually about 55 million single women in the United States right now.
Do you really think that women actually want to get married these days?
I think they still do, but I think there's so many other priorities, right now that take up their time, that I don't think there's that desperation that there used to be. And that's kind of the point of the A-ring. It's enjoy your singlehood no matter how long it lasts. I'm not, advocating being single forever.
Sure.
It's just while you're single, you might as well have the A-ring to kind of, look on your hand and look at your pinky and go, yeah, I'm worth having a diamond ring as well. And that was the genesis of it, and kind of what I was hoping to, reinforce.
What has been the biggest lesson you've learned through your success?
About the business part of it?
About life in general. Business, life.
Life in general. That's a good one. What is truly, truly a wonderful thing is if you can do work that you love, it just does not seem like a job. And I really would wish that for everybody, to find the thing that they're really passionate about and to be able to make a living at it. I think that really is the key to having a really successful life. I know that if you look at entrepreneurs, if you read their books or you listen to entrepreneurs on television or whatever, they will always say, you know what, I would do this for free. I'm just having a great time doing whatever I'm doing. And the money kind of comes later, but the passion that you have for, the industry that you're in really, enables you to be able to put the kind of hours that you have to put in as an entrepreneur. I mean, it's tough.
Sure
There's
is.
no one to say, this is what you do today, this is what you do Friday, this is what you do Monday. You have to be a self-starter, and in order to drive a business, as an entrepreneur. So if you love it, it's just so much easier.
What are the qualities that make someone an entrepreneur and a winner?
A winner? Well, entrepreneurs are a little bit different. I don't think they're 9-to-5ers. I know that I had been actually an entrepreneur one other time. I started a magazine in my apartment, and I sold it actually to Women's Wear Daily, the publishers of Women's Wear Daily. So I kind of knew a little bit about how hard you have to work as an entrepreneur. So I think that you have to be a self-starter. As I said, you have to be disciplined. Not everybody can do it because, a lot of people like to be, kind of prodded along. And you really have to put some time in. You have to sacrifice a lot, but, as I said, it really is worth it when it kind of comes through.
And a lot of people who get into their own businesses for some reason think that they're going to be rich overnight. And it's very rare that it happens that way. It usually takes a long time to get the ball rolling. You just happened to come up with the right idea at the right time, and your networking contacts just paid off.
Yeah, it's just the price was great. The price is around $300, which is a fantastic price.
It certainly is.
For a diamond ring set in 14-karat white gold. And at the website at Divine Diamonds, I now have a few other products too, but I kind of keep them in that reasonable price range. So, you can really feel good about, not spending a tremendous amount of money and getting a beautiful piece of jewelry. But, overnight success, they always say it takes, 10 years for an overnight success. Now, my background actually kind of dovetailed with this whole jewelry business. Now, I had never been in the jewelry business, but I did have a background in marketing and branding, advertising, public relations, graphics and web design, web and graphics and photography. So all of those kind of skill sets really, really helped in starting the business because I was able to kind of tap into my graphic designer who I worked with at the ad agency and my photographer who I knew, through managing a photo studio. So I always tell people that are starting their own businesses, try to get a lot of experience in all the other, industries that you can. In other words, don't look at all those other industries like, oh, this will never do me any good, because it all kind of compounds on each other, and the more knowledge and the more education that you have, it can definitely, help to spur you on to success when you're finally in, the right niche.
All right, stand by, my friend. Ruta Fox is our special guest. Her website is www.divinediamonds.com. If you'd like to give us a call, 1-877-528-8255 is toll free. And Ruta and I will be back on the other side of this news break as the X Zone continues live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone TV, and on shortwave. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone TV, and on shortwave. My guest this hour is Ruta Fox. She is the creator of the ring, and her website is www.divinediamonds.com. Now, not everyone goes from freelance writer to president of her own corporation in just 6 weeks, but Ruta Fox, the creator of the ring, did. From advertising copywriter and editorial writer, had been pounding the keys of fashionable clients such as SaksFifthAvenue.com, Mary Claire, Vanity Fair, Bloomingdale's, and so for over 10 years, and was looking for a way to get out from behind the computer. When her doctor advised her 7 years ago that sitting for long periods of time was harmful to her back, and I can associate with that, she needed to find a full and alternate career quickly. Now, I have to ask you this, Ruta. And take this from a guy's standpoint, okay?
Okay.
Why are diamonds so darn important to ladies?
Well, women love diamonds. They do. They just have magic. They have power. It's tradition. Mm-hmm. It's the symbol, what it symbolizes, eternal love. They're just fantastic pieces of, million-year-old carbon. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's the sparkle, and I think it's just the color. And when you look down at your hand, and, of course, if you have the ring, you're looking at your pinky.
Yes.
And you see this beautiful diamond ring that, it's a symbol. It's a circle. Diamond actually means world goddess. Dia and Mon, diamond, diamond, world goddess. And they're just magic. There's something magic about my ring, I think, and there's something magic about diamonds.
So, let me see, zirconians won't cut it, huh?
No, women know the difference. Boy, don't ever try to pull that.
Oh, hey, I'm a guy, and I learned that many years ago. I remember going to high school, and I gave my high school sweetheart a ring that turned her finger green.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
No,
come on.
Don't.
Yeah, that's why I learned that lesson very early in life. Oh. Now, what about the guys? Are you coming out with some jewelry for guys? Like, are you just going to forget us?
Well, You know what? Diamond pinky rings and men, I'm not sure about that. I know that the Sopranos have their take on it, but you know, one of the reasons I think the ring got so popular is because it's a great way for a man to tell if a woman is single. Because I know a lot of guys get confused. Maybe they're at a bar, restaurant, or the market, or wherever, and women wear a lot of crazy rings on a lot of crazy fingers. And I think men, you know, look and they don't understand that a little sterling silver band or something, you know, that a woman has on whatever, you know, a left hand could, you know, he would think maybe she was married. So I think it's kind of confusing for men, and that was another reason why, you know, why the ring I think got so popular. I don't know about diamonds for men. I'll give that some thought.
Well, maybe not diamonds. You know, I wasn't suggesting that a guy wear diamonds on his rings. And you know what? I see guys when I go shopping with Laura. I see guys, and she's always wanting to buy me a ring that has diamonds in it. And in my opinion, there is no place on a man's hand for a ring with a diamond on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem like a traditional masculine, you know, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of men don't even like to wear any jewelry. You know, maybe a watch, and that's it. But I think a lot of men aren't used to wearing jewelry anyway. They do wear a wedding ring with, you know, pride, but that's about it.
Hey, I say if it doesn't have a magic decoder on the ring, I'm not going to wear it.
Right, if it can't send a message.
Exactly.
Or, you know, or maybe, these days, I know there's a new James Bond movie coming out, so I'm sure if it doesn't, you know, have a phone that you can download whatever on it, it's not going to be any good.
Or if it doesn't go, Moneypenny, the phone.
Right, yeah.
1-877-528-8255 is toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Ruta Fox is my very special guest, and she is a lady who made her dream come true because she thought of it, and instead of just sitting on it and letting someone else do it, she did it. And, you know, hats off to you, Ruta, and I certainly love your philosophy about if you love doing something, do it.
Well,
now,
you know, it's just,
No, go right ahead, dear.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I also have a lot of celebrities that wear the ring, and that's also a great way to, you know, get your product promoted. When you find something that you love to do, say you come up with a certain product or something, it's wonderful to try to get it to celebrities because that's just, you know, they're definitely worth their weight in gold. And that
Big time.
You know, get notoriety. And I have, you know, of course, Oprah, but Terry Hatcher and Tyra Banks.
Wow.
Dunst, Joy Bryant, Gwyneth Paltrow had my ring, you know, 'cause she's married now, but Serena Williams, Adriana Lima, the Victoria's Secret model. So I have a lot of different celebrities that, you know, have really enjoyed wearing the ring, and that is a wonderful way to get some notoriety.
Now, how long ago did your big break come? Was it months ago? Was it a year ago?
No, actually, it was the O Magazine came out with the O-ring and the full-page photo in March of 2001. So it's going on about 7 years that it's been popular. And, you know, there was no diamond ring on the market for single women, and it's still the first and only diamond ring. And it's just amazing to me that just as early as just a few years ago, that the entire jewelry industry, you know, was completely ignoring, you know, this huge market until I thought of it.
All right, so you've cornered the market on the left pinky, right? So that means somebody can go and market the right pinky.
No, either pinky, either side. It doesn't matter. When you're married, you usually, well, down here in the States, we wear the wedding rings on the left hand.
So do we.
In Europe.
So do we. It's an international symbol of being taken or jailed. I'm not sure which one yet.
Well, no, in Europe, a lot of times they wear the wedding ring on their right hand, their right ring finger. Very European thing to do.
And then you've got a number of countries where the men wear the rings through the nose.
Yeah, I guess.
Did I say that on air?
Nowadays, everybody's got piercings every which place on their face. So what does that mean?
Exactly. If someone was to tell you in March of 2000 that the next 7 years would be a ride that you would never forget, what would you have told him?
Well, it's funny because my friend, the psychic Beatrice, as I mentioned, she had always read my cards, and she told me, you know what, Ruta, you are going to do something huge. So she had kind of warned me that, some sort of, big success was meant to be, but I had no idea what it would be or where it would come from.
Mm-hmm.
And, I call my company Divine Diamonds because I think it was truly divinely guided to me, because it was just, as you said, the right product, the right time, the right place, the right person, getting me to the right person. And it was just this huge, gelling of all things coming together at one time. I was a writer, as I said, for years, and I had no experience in the jewelry business at all.
Tell me, how has the A-ring changed your life? Has it changed your way of looking at life? Has it changed your spirituality? Has it changed the way that you deal and work with people?
The spirituality aspect, that's interesting, because I definitely believe there is another layer or another level of things sort of that happen. And I guess the way how they say luck is opportunity meets preparedness.
Yes.
And then they say, I got so lucky. Well, you take those two things and you put them together, and that's how you get lucky. The right opportunity at the right time, and then being prepared for the right opportunity at the right time. Then all of a sudden you get lucky. But I definitely believe there's some kind of a the universe has some kind of power, and The Secret has been so popular, and those things that you think about and what you dream about, you can make dreams come true. You just have to have faith and believe.
That's right.
Believe in your dream.
But and believe in yourself.
And believe in yourself. Yeah. Exactly. Once you start on the path and things just kind of fall into place, or you say to yourself, gee, that's funny, I just thought about Paris, and then I got a postcard in the mail from Paris, and then I just happened to go out to the movies that night, and I went to a movie that was, shot in Paris. And if you put all the coincidences together, I think a lot of people don't really understand what the coincidences in their life are.
Yes, that's true. We had
little signposts that are telling you that you're going in the right direction.
I had Frank Joseph on the show 2 nights ago. He's the editor of Ancient American Magazine, and he's just come out with a fantastic book entitled There Are No Coincidences.
Oh.
It's a fascinating book, and basically, when you stop and think that each one of us on this planet, when we do something, affects another, and to try to figure out the mathematical equations for the coincidences that happen in each life, each day, it's impossible.
Yeah. Well, the coincidence was, I had my friend, Beatrice, who's the psychic, and she just happened to have a friend, Michelle, and Michelle just happened to have just gotten this job at Oprah Magazine. And I just happened to go in there, and actually Michelle said, you have a pinky ring? Great, come over. Because I was just looking on Fifth Avenue here in New York. We're in New York. I was just on Fifth Avenue looking at some very expensive, fancy Fifth Avenue jewelers, because I was just happened to be looking for a pinky ring. So what are the odds of all of those things coming together? It was just, one coincidence after the next.
The right moment, the right time, and everything in the universe said, all right, it's Ruta's turn now.
Right. The one thing I did learn, the hardest lesson I think I learned about the business was that nobody cares about your business the way that you do.
How very true.
Nobody wants to get it right, and nobody cares if they make a mistake, because it's not their, baby. So I think that was a hard lesson for me to learn.
And people misunderstand the fact that it is your business and that you know exactly how it has to be done. And many times, I know for myself, I've been accused of being controlling, that I don't give certain responsibilities to other people. It's not that I'm controlling, it's that I want it done right.
Oh, Rob, you and I are so on the same page on that. Because nobody else can do it right.
Exactly.
It's funny, but you know what? They say that about successful people. They always say that about Barbra Streisand. You know, they say about Woody Allen, Steven Spielberg. You know, these people drive me crazy because they're the ones that are so, insistent that it be done a certain way, because if you give it to 2 or 3 other people, they just won't take the care.
That's right.
That, that you will take in your own
And it's
project.
your touch, your way of doing it, that has made it successful.
Right.
So why change a winning formula?
Right. But yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn when you work with a lot of other people. I'm lucky that I get to run the business by myself, basically, and because I have the website, it's so easy that I don't have to have a retail store. Actually, the ring's only available on the website, and the good part about that is, I just don't have any big overhead the way people would have to have, in the old, the old back in the day.
Sure.
You had to have a retail store. Now the internet has just opened up, a whole incredible future for people to have a business without, spending a tremendous amount of money.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take a commercial break. We'll be back with our final segment in about 4.5 minutes. My special guest is Ruta Fox, and she is the creator of the ring, www.divinediamonds.com. That's www.divinediamonds.com. In the next hour, Exo Nation, it's you and me. We're going to be talking about, let me just put it to you this way. It was all the rave within the UFO community just a couple of weeks ago when members of the UFO community claimed that a private meeting had been held at the United Nations concerning the landing of extraterrestrials in the year 2013, or was it 2017? They've never got that year straight. This, many claimed, was the smoking gun that ufology had been waiting for. However, like so many other smoking guns in ufology, the Roswell crash, the Phoenix Lights, the UFO over Texas, they fizzle after a few weeks. Why do they fizzle? And what is the motive behind the people who just put this stuff out all over the internet and into the media? Is it a real sighting, or is it for fame and monetary gain? In the next hour here on the X-Zone. Ruta Fox and I return after this commercial set as the X-Zone continues live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone TV, and on shortwave right here on the Talkstar Radio Network.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
Ruta Fox is our guest for this first hour of tonight's show, X-Zone Nation, www.divinediamonds.com. First of all, Ruta, thank you very much for joining us tonight here on the X-Zone, and congratulations on your success, and I wish you many, 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 many more years success.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Well, yeah, we have a great time here. I, like you, love what I do, so that makes it a lot more fun sitting down here 4 hours a night, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Now,
I know. I hope that, people will be inspired to really, go ahead and search for the thing that they like to do, because it just makes your life so much more enjoyable.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah. And wear diamonds.
Of course, and wear the diamonds that are available at www.divinediamonds.com. What little tidbits of advice do you have to share with our audience besides to follow their dreams?
Well, in what regard? You mean in the big picture, or
in the big picture? Because if you understand the big picture, you can kind of hone in on your specifics.
Yeah. Well, I know one way to help you follow your dream, especially if you're thinking about changing careers. I know people are in a lot of turmoil right now about the economy and whatever. A lot of people are working on some part-time things, at home, or they wish that they could start something, from home or whatever. And I always tell people, go back to when you were a kid and look at what you really, really enjoyed doing. Did you like dressing up Barbie dolls? Did you like, playing with, trucks? Or was there something about taking apart, model airplanes? Or, what are the things in your childhood that you really, really enjoyed? Or, is it gardening? Do you love being outside, but, you have to work in an office? So try to access, the thing that really makes you happy, and then maybe you could kind of work an idea around, the thing that you're good at. And I always remember somebody told me once, mind the mother lode. Do the thing that you do really well, because that's probably something that you really enjoy. So I hope people can be inspired.
Ruta, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll speak to you again in the future. And keep those rings coming, and to you and yours a very happy Easter.
Okay, terrific. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye now. Ruta Fox was our special guest this first hour. She is the creator of the A-Ring, A-H-R-A-N-G, and her website is www.divinediamonds.com. That's www.divinediamonds.com. When we come back from the news at the top of the hour at 6.5 minutes past open mic, I'm going to be talking about what happens to all these UFO stories that splash the mainstream media and those that are all over the internet and these little groups that just fizzle away to nothing. Is it a form of entertainment? Or are people trying to make a point? Or are they just trying to fill their pockets with your money? 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern. And then the show is repeated in its entirety from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. I'll be back on the other side of this news break at 6.5 minutes past the hour as we continue live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, right here on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone TV, and on shortwave.